Before rendering the English version of 7 Stages Samadhi cassette, I most reverentially prostrate myself at the lotus feet of my master, Pujya Gurudeva. The contents of this cassette, 7 Stages Samadhi, it is hoped shall enlighten a meditant on various aspects of Samadhi. The Hindi version of this cassette drew overwhelming response, and consequently it has had been in great demand, and large number of requests and letters from non-Hindi states for the English version of this cassette made us to bring out the English version. Here is the English version of this cassette and should be listened with rapt attention. Today, I am before you all for a discussion of a subject of especial importance. Samadhi is an essential and compelling requirement of life. If we aspire for fulfillment, desire to have physical, visual realization of the deity, then 2 elements are essential. One is reverential attachment, which is connected with the feelings of the heart. Human body's existence is affected by 2 things. One is intellectual aspect, which can only mislead, deviate a meditant by raising questions: what, why, when, and how, or this is correct, or that is incorrect. If I ask myself whether there is anything like God, then intellect shall say that he should be seen by me, or all this is humbug. This is all due to intellect. And the second thing is reverence. This is the process of dedication and surrender to someone and obtaining him in totality. If reverential attachment is there, then negative reasoning cannot exist simultaneously, because then intellectual aspect shall get weaker, the reverential or devotional aspect shall get stronger. Science, business, various transactions are governed by intellect. Therefore, intellect or mind has been termed as science. But when there is thinking about enlightenment, Shastra's divine revelations about submerging in supreme bliss, reverential aspect gets warranted, and all this is possible through dedication and surrender. Therefore, it falls upon a person, though he has a balanced admixture of materialistic thinking and spiritual craving, to diminish the materialistic thinking. Business, worldliness, household management, making social adjustments warrant intellectual aspect. Progress in science is through intellect, because the world wide makes one to research and invent. Research gives birth to science, but science is not a totality for a human being. Putting it differently, it's a small fraction of life. I say this because the intellect can provide material comforts, can originate science. It can make objects for material comforts such as helicopter, planes, telephones, washing machines, cooking ranges, etc. But modern amenities can't fill one with supreme bliss and give full satisfaction. Attainment of mental satisfaction and inner thirst can be quenched only by spiritual thoughts or actions, and spiritual thoughts can be bred up through reverence. Though both intellect and reverence are required, but those who aspire for an elevated life, supreme bliss, for them it is essential that they should function to ensure that reverential aspect predominates over intellectual aspect in their lives, and build-up of reverential predomination over intellect should continue. For this, thoughts, mantra jap, and dedication towards Guru or presiding deity is necessary, and all those actions which enable one to get inside one's inner self should be practiced sincerely. Gradual diminution of intellectual aspect or ida aspect and strengthening reverential aspect is the first basic requirement for those aspiring for spiritual heights, totality, supreme bliss. For this, for increasing reverential aspect, the aspirant should deeply involve himself in meditation, in Guru, Ishta, God, such that one can get inside his inner self. Now the question arises as to how dim the intensity of negative reasoning controls such thought, without which reverential aspect cannot develop, and for this samadhi is an essential requirement. I am emphasizing over this dimming because when reverential aspect shall overtake these things, intellectual aspect shall automatically take a back seat, and when spiritual pilgrim attains this state, he finds mental satisfaction, fortune, supreme bliss, and he gets free of obstacles, sorrow, tensions. Therefore, diminution of negative reasoning and build-up of reverential aspect is all the more essential. Human mind is world's most complex machine. It is so complicated that at every moment it is active due to ingress of reactions, sentiments and thoughts. At no moment mind stops thinking or is free of thoughts, and as long mind is filled with thoughts, logical aspect shall be stronger. The spiritual aspirant shall envelop himself with negative logic one by one. Therefore, it is essential that one should adopt such a method as to give relief and rest to mind for some moments. Scientific studies have revealed that human mind generates 300,000 thoughts every minute and becomes free of them. It retains some of the thoughts and releases the rest, and this cycle continues. But the question is not of quantum of thoughts retained or released by mind, but the real question is of the amount of burden on mind. When 300,000 thoughts shall ingress the mind, then mind automatically shall get weak and shall have negative tendency. Is there any way of reducing mind's burden? Or for this it is logically essential that one should strive for development of thoughtless mind. Thoughtless mind means that we should adopt such a method which helps mind in reduced generation of thoughts, and when this stage is attained, when get cut off from outside world, then links with outside world are cut off, one is able to get into one's inner self, and this enables one to have manifestation of the deity and have revelations of the universe along with the supreme bliss. Here the question arises whether thoughtless mind can be attained, or whether there is a technique for making mind thoughtless. While a person is awake, whether he likes it or not, thoughts are generated continuously in his mind. Whether he is walking, sitting or standing. While resting on bed, many happenings of the past come to mind, many future plans or various thoughts continue to ingress the mind. As long such thoughts ingress mind, one cannot have peaceful life. During the state of sleep, he continues to be engrossed by thoughts which result in dreams. In a way, dreams are manifestation of thoughts. Hardly there is a person in the world who does not dream. Many persons do not remember dreams at the time of getting up in the morning. This shows his mental weakness. Till such time, one goes to sleep, and up to the time of his getting up, dreams always are seen by the person. And this clearly substantiates the fact that during a state of deep sleep or being awake, mind is engrossed by thoughts which has been termed as intellectual aspect, sentiments, etc. Scientists have admitted that creation of new human beings can be achieved with thoughtless mind only. If you want human beings with new outlook, then persons having thoughtless mind shall be required such that mental burden gets minimum. Ingress of 300,000 thoughts per minute into mind gradually be reduced to 100,000, then to 50,000, then to 1,000, and gradually a state of thoughtless mind should be achieved. This thoughtless mind or samadhi are synonymous. This implies that attainment of samadhi state is essential. Anyone desirous of achieving something, progress, then total control of mind is required. But one does not know the technique of thoughtless mind. He doesn't know as to how to do this. As long as thoughtless mind is not achieved, one shall have an ordinary life. Living an ordinary life is one thing, while attainment of greatness is another. Keeping this in view, I have just mentioned the word new human being. Elaborating it further, it means that new human being should have complete control over his mind, and when human mind shall get under control, then there shall be no fear, anger, revenge. There shall be no wars between nations, no terror, pain, sufferings, and quarrels between neighbors shall not exist on this earth. And creation of this type of world atmosphere shall make earth a heavenly place and usher the world into a state of love, comforts, and free from pains and sufferings. If we want such a happy, beautiful world, then we should build such human beings who can control their minds. Now we are confronted with the question as to what is the technique of reducing ingress of thoughts into mind and gradually reduce it to zero, or is dreamless sleep is possible? Science cannot answer this question, nor the nuclear scientists, nor the progressive intellectuals, nor warmongers can answer this question. Veds, Upanishads, Puran can answer this question. If we study these scriptures in correct perspective, then we can find details of thoughtless mind technique through which build-up of a high-order human being is possible. I have referred only to the development of new human beings. Irrespective of his birth, the place of birth, the family one is born into, and if practically one does those practices as given in Vedas, Upanishads, ordinary human beings can be transformed into outstanding personalities. If we can transform ordinary human beings into outstanding personalities, then in the ensuing chain reaction, society and nation and then world shall become a living abode of happiness, comforts, blissfulness, and where there shall be no place for anger, deceit, untruth, immorality, jealousy, quarrels, and tendency to annihilate others shall disappear. The world in true sense of the term shall become a family. It shall be a place free of religion and nations. In Ishovashopanishad, our ancient seers have explained this is possible through thoughtless mind. The entire world is a community of human beings. Our rishis said that such world is possible through thoughtless mind and it is desirable and essential for our generation that we take up the cudgels and proceed ahead. Our ancient scriptures have turned thoughtless mind and samadhi. During samadhi, one gets cut off from outside world, from disturbing noises, and steps into his inner self deeper and deeper, and one starts perceiving the entire universe within oneself. Our Upanishads have admitted that whatever world is seen outside, the same exists in our inner self in the same form and parameters. Sun, moon, the entire universe are situated within our inner self as these exist in present form. By closing our eye, one can perceive the entire universe within himself. This means what exists inside, reflections of which we see outside, and whatever is seen outside is not there, but that is a reflection of our inner self. Whatever is universe, we see it outside. Sun, moon, stars rise within ourselves. When these are photographed and emitted outside, we are able to see. There is no sun, moon, planets, stars or nations which exist outside. This can be seen through eye. And if we close our eye, then we cannot see anything. This implies that through eye, something gets emitted outwards, which enables us to see, but with closed eyes, cannot see moon, stars or nation. This means whatever exists inside has got shut off, and the process of emission outwards has ceased, and consequently we are able to see. That is why our ancient scriptures say that if we look inside, whatever is seen there is more clear, correct, realistic. Whatever exists outside, then wife, relatives, nations, world, sun, moon, planets, etc. exist in ourselves. It was because of this, in Gita, Lord Krishna is observed telling Arjun, "O Arjun, whatever you are seeing outside, that is nothing but exists within yourself. This Mahabharata war is going on within yourself, but the need is that you should get inside your inner self, and as soon as you are able to do this, you shall start seeing many special events at the present moment. Whatever you are seeing of Mahabharata war, you shall be able to see warriors, Bhishma Pitama, Duryodhan standing within yourself, and besides you shall see their future and what is going to happen. Whatever is seen outside is the same that is being seen by us, but whatever exists inside is not only seen, but secrets are happening are also seen. What shall be the consequences and where it shall end? Therefore, looking within self is something unique, great and divine. The process or technique of getting inside is called samadhi, which has 7 stages, through which one gets into his inner self, and when one reaches the 7th stage of samadhi, he perceives the entire universe there. Therefore, it is necessary that gradually we should attain the 7th stage of samadhi. We should step deeper and deeper into our inner self, and this is called samadhi. Mere closing eye or motionless sitting cannot be termed samadhi. Samadhi means attaining the 7th stage of samadhi, where there is eternal bliss The vast expanse of the universe is seen there, and one should be able to see inside whatever is being seen outside. Observing things existing outside is an ordinary ability, and even a most healthy person with a naked eye is able to see up to 150 or 160 meters. This means one is unable to see things or events occurring at 1 kilometer or 10 kilometers distance. When we are unable to see things or events 5 to 10 kilometers away, then question of being able to observe as to what is happening in the universe just does not arise. This proves that eye has limited viewing capacity, but by getting inside our inner self, we can see the entire universe. For example, our eye cannot see India as a whole. But if we look at India's map and explain that this is Rajasthan, Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, etc., then our eye shall be able to see India as a whole. Similarly, our eye cannot see universe, but by getting insight into our inner self, we reach the 7th stage of Samadhi. In a moment, we can know what is happening in Suryalok or Chandralok or in the galaxy or Gandharvalok, or what events are happening at what places of the UK, USA, etc. And besides, we can also see the consequences and the events being seen. The principal advantage of viewing things through inner faculties that anything can be seen in its totality, and decision on events, on its consequences can be taken, and through this one can intervene into coming events and shape it such that unfavorable things get favorable. It is because of this that the technique of getting into one's inner self has been called life's eternal bliss. And Samadhi is life's ultimate aim, for which clear philosophy has been enunciated. Those who are true human beings and those who attempt to understand life in its true perspective, who attempt truly to achieve the totality which our great ancestors had achieved, and who, having acquired divine vision, were called divine visionaries, who could look at one's past, present and future. They had no sadhana for this, but had this technique of getting into inner self, of gradually attaining the 7th stage of Samadhi. On touching the 7th stage, they could simultaneously view one's past, present and future, the shape and consequences of future events. This is an absolute necessity for us to enable one to know the causes of sorrows of present life. It is absolutely essential that we must view our previous lives. Then we shall know as to why we are undergoing sufferings, diseases, not getting cured even by spending thousands of rupees. Our hard labor is unable to bring prosperity. There is paucity, pain, tension, and there is no happiness even though one has everything in life. If any tree starts decaying and drying up, it is essential that we must get to the root of the tree and examine if it has been affected by white ants, and only then trees' maladies can be remedied out. Similarly, for correct understanding of present life, looking at many previous lives becomes essential, and this is possible through samadhi only, and now I am touching upon the 7 points of samadhi. The 7 points or clues for attainment of samadhi are being explained. Through achievement of thoughtless mind, process of viewing universe can be elaborated. The first point or stage is Purak process, which enables one to enter one's inner self, or else there is no other way of doing so. Through breathing only, we step inside ourselves. In absence of air, life's survival is unimaginable. It is through Purak we enter inside, drawing in air through nostrils, which after passing through heart's region, strongly affects the navel point. Purak means intake of air through deep breathing. This technique is not known to an ordinary person. His breathings are incomplete and is confined up to the region of throat. Real breathing means that it should go up to the navel point and vibrate navel region. If one watches breathing of 2 months old baby, one would observe that baby's breathing is such that his navel pulsates. When a grown-up man breathes, his navel does not pulsate. This means his breathing is incomplete and goes up to throat only. Purak means that we should breathe deeply. From our throat up to the navel, various types of unwanted elements like cough, dirt, which have got accumulated in this region exist. And these prevent breathing reaching the navel point. But if this accumulation of dirty matter is shaken with air, muck accumulation would start coming out. One shall be able to take his breathing up to the navel point. Therefore, Purak means breathing deeply, and for doing this, it is essential that at first one inhales first through left nostril and vents out air through right nostril, and later inhales through right nostril and releases out of the left nostril. There are reasons for doing it this way. When one inhales through left nostril, the entire emotional system gets charged. When one inhales through right nostril, all of our internal doors start getting opened. Through alternate breathing, through nostrils, entire body gets charged up. Emotions are generated and transmitted. This is life's special process, which is of higher order. First, we should press our right nostril with finger and deeply inhale through left nostril, such that maximum amount of air is inhaled, and by closing the left nostril, went out through right nostril. By now, we have performed 3 actions. Firstly, we closed right nostril with our finger and inhaled through left nostril. Then closed the left nostril and inhaled through right nostril. And release through right nostril. Inhaling should be deep In the second stage, close the left nostril and inhale through right nostril. During this third process, closing left nostril with left thumb, inhale through right nostril and vent out through left nostril. In the fourth sequence, we shall inhale through right nostril and vent out of the left. And in the fifth sequence, we shall inhale and vent out through both the nostrils. This entire sequence is called Purak, and Rechak action is also incorporated in Purak action, and these are supplementary to each other. Therefore, Purak and Rechak should simultaneously be done. At a faster rate, we should deeply inhale in and vent out of nostrils. If we inhale through left nostril, then it should be vented out to the right nostril, and later inhale through right nostril, then it should be vented out of the left nostril. Later, inhaling should be done through both nostrils and vented out of both. Taking breath inside is called Purak, and venting out is called Rechak. Now, the second stage comes. It is called Kumbhak. It means that air inhaled should be stored inside and locked. Locking is done through Jalandhar technique, wherein chin is pressed on the throat base. This locks the passage and no air can come out. This air, which gets entrapped inside, then it reacts and moves at very fast speed. Whatever cobwebs of dirt, cough are there, are hit and are eased out. It also knocks all the doors inside. Kumbhak process should be retained as long as one can, and one should not vent out. When one shall perform Kumbhak, noticeable things shall be seen. Our face shall turn red because no air is being vented out. A force, a sparks, and fire shall be produced, and gradually another thing shall occur. Our stomach shall gradually swell up, which implies that veins start getting vibrations and active. Getting active at a faster rate means that we shall be able to open the second door. Now I do Kumbhak before you. In the process, you would have observed that face starts getting red, which indicates all the veins of the body start functioning. When this gets supplemented with Kumbhak, air entrapped inside starts expanding. Fire of the stomach heats the body, which expands, and then belly swells up. Under this process, swelling of belly originates eradication of all the diseases of the body, and even the most inert veins get active. The third stage of Samadhi is Bhasrika. Hitherto, Purak, Rechak, Kumbhak were performed at slower speed, which can expel out dirt, cough stored inside, and inner doors do not get opened up. Therefore, there is need to impart force to these practices. The practice of fast breathing is called Bhasrika. This warrants inhaling with our full capacity, force and speed, and venting it out at the same rate. Therefore, Bhasrika should be done 60 times a minute. Though it is not essential that in the beginning one should do Bhasrika at fast speed, but gradually one should be able to do it, and the process of doing Bhasrika at a faster rate is the process of opening the third door. When this door shall get opened up, automatically Chetana shall be obtained. Ingress of thoughts into mind shall get reduced from 300,000 to 100,000 per minute. Mental burden shall get reduced, and when mind shall get eased up, the process of thoughtless mind shall begin. When this gets possible, we shall get more relaxed. Therefore, practicing Bhasrika and its effects are important for us. Through Bhasrika, we shall progress towards thoughtless mind fast. Therefore, its practice and its effect are very essential to us. One should get up early in the morning and do Purak, Kumbhak, Rechak. One should do Bhasrika also at the rate 1 per second up to 5 to 7 minutes. This implies that breathing, that is intake and venting out air, shall be quite fast. I am practically illustrating Bhasrika. Though it should be done in Virasana, it can be done in Sukhasana also. While being in Virasana, one should keep his hands on knees, blow up the chest, and do fast breathing with fullest capacity. If during the breathing some blood clots come out, there is nothing to worry about. This means that all dust, cough, blood deposition are being expelled out, and when this blockade is removed, the onward passage shall automatically get cleared. Continuous sound is heard during the process, which is indicative of forceful breathing being vented out. Our breathing should be deep and be vented out with full force. This should be practiced gradually. Later on, breathing rate should be increased to 60 times per minute. Doing Bhasrika shall result in full opening of the third door. When third door is opened, then attempt should be made to open the fourth door. For this section of opening the fourth door, it is essential that one should remain in motionless sitting posture just after Bhasrika without making any delay. We should practice Bhasrika for 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 7 minutes. One healthy person cannot do Bhasrika for more than 5 to 7 minutes, and whereas yogis can do this for 7, 8, or 15 minutes. But this practice makes the body hot, like red-hot volcanic lava. All the veins get active, and blood circulation in mind gets accelerated, and the entire body experiences brisk activity and actions. As soon as Bhasrika is over, one should sit motionless for 5 minutes with closed eye. This motionless sitting is called dhyan, or reaching the fourth door or stage. After Bhasrika is stopped, automatically eye gets closed, mind gets still, and the body does not experience any activity or motion. For opening the fourth door, Dhyan is very essential, or rather a compulsion, and its minimum duration should be of 5 minutes. By practice, it should be increased to 10 or 15 minutes. One healthy person can have a dhyan of 32 minutes. Attaining 32 minutes dhyan is an achievement of a fulfilled life. After a stage of 32 minutes dhyan is attained, then by practice, dhyan of 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours or 10 hours duration can be achieved. Because during dhyan stage, rate of breathing gets extremely low. Therefore, it is essential that one should sit motionless and strive that we get cut off from surroundings around. And percolation of sound of outward surroundings should slow down. If there is sound due to clutter of utensils or baby crying, it would reach here. But if you do dhyan up to 10 minutes, and when you step into 11th minute or 12th minute, outside sound would gradually cease to be heard. Even though there is sound outside, it shall not affect or disturb the body. This is dhyan in itself. Dhyan does not mean closed eye, but it is the process of getting insight into inner self. When we get into our inner self, then links with outer world or physical body, which becomes redundant during these moments, get broken, and all noises outside do not affect and disturb you. If this is so, then you have reached the 3rd or 4th stage, which is possible through dhyan. Dhyan process has many advantages. Firstly, this enables one to have thoughtless mind at a faster rate. Secondly, the ingress of thoughts through dhyan is reduced from 300,000 per minute to 3,000, which means ingress of thoughts has been reduced by 100 times, and one have been able to provide relaxation to mind, which gets more peaceful and still, and then process of getting into inner self begins. In the process, one automatically views unique cosmic or divine scenes. It would appear that there is Himalaya, mountain caves, you are sitting there, have gone into samadhi. You can also see yourself bathing in a tank, or you can see that you have stabbed someone fatally, or looting, or speaking lie, or helping someone, or doing business. These are scenes of your previous lives. This means on reaching the 5th stage, one views scenes of previous lives and know as to where you had been and what were you. If you go still deeper, then you would know the name of the city, whether you were a sannyasi, yogi, or a businessman, or belonged to the service class, were good or bad, and how, when, where you had died. On reaching the 4th stage, automatic vision of past lives takes place, and when 32 minutes motionless sitting is achieved, then we should understand that we have completed one phase of dhyan. Now, about reaching the 5th stage. Though we are in a dhyan state, we have consciousness and are active. Even during dhyan stage, mind is active, and when it is active, we see scenes and whatever is being projected. We do not have any mean of regulating the projection of these senses or view sceneries of our choice. For example, you find yourself doing business in a city, then see case in Himalayan region, which means first you were a businessman and later, under direction of a guru, perform sadhanas in Himalaya. Later on, by further practice, we can see whatever we want. We can see as to where, when we were born, who were our parents, how we had lived our lives. The process of doing dhyan with fullest ability capacity is called dharana. And it is because of this, it is called the fifth stage. On attaining the fifth stage, we get cut off from outer surroundings and outside environment. Do not affect us at this stage. Anyone in the fifth stage of samadhi cannot be disturbed, even though he is shaken or does not experience pain when a pin is pricked into his body. This makes clear that at this stage, one is in fifth stage as has acquired dharana power. It implies that one has reached up to the fifth stage or door. Gradually, one shall get deeper and deeper into dhyan and progress. And when one achieves dhyan of 32 minutes, then meditant starts receiving dharana power. When interplay of dharana power starts, then one shall be able to view whatever one wishes to view of the universe, can view the present or whatever we wish to see of the world, UK, USA and other countries. Then the sixth stage comes. When one has total dedication and submergence in his deity, one can view different planets, perform the action of getting entry there. Be it sun, moon or galaxies or planets, and at this point Guru's presence is felt and one gets him at this point. Guru, who is formless, timeless, and who is called inexhaustible storehouse of enlightenment, shall be found here. A Guru who is not a man of this world is like an eternal lighthouse of enlightenment, who is called continuous flow of enlightenment, shall be come across at this point. When one experiences the intermittent flow of enlightenment, submerges into it, then all Vedas, Purans, scriptures automatically get by heart, and then one does not have the need of acquiring knowledge. This is itself an outstanding state. Automatically, all Vedas, Purans appear before us in personified form, and we are able to have clear vision of Vasishtha, Vishwamitra, and thus complete the process of viewing. By knocking at or reaching the sixth door, we enter Siddhashram and reach there bodily. The seventh door or state is called Samadhi. Samadhi means getting into timeless submergence into God and attaining Godhood, where the principle I am Brahma holds good. This practice of obtaining Brahma is called the seventh stage. Therefore, the entire process from first stage to seventh stage is called samadhi. And after crossing all the 7 doors, we can attain supreme bliss. We can enter Siddhashram, where we, in the true sense of the term, can become Brahma. I bless you all such that you are successful in attaining a complete and successful samadhi. It is hoped that one shall find Pujya Gurudev's discourse on 7 stages of samadhi altogether innovative. Through this, one can know the importance and divinity of samadhi. At no cost, through Bhasrika, one can eradicate or mitigate disease, enjoy better health and life. Sincere meditants are advised to take to the practices as explained in this cassette for accelerating their spiritual progress. A real guru is benevolent and desires that his disciple touches withering heights, and in the process he well prepares, shapes, equips his disciple with various types of knowledge and techniques. As a result, the disciple attains perfection, which the guru is pleased to observe. In conformity with this fact, Pujya Gurudev kindly has given another way of achieving better health, diseases eradication, immortality and divine vision. This faculty is known as Paravigyan or metaphysical science, which has been given in Paravigyan cassette.